Hello friends, my name's Kristen and I have lost 50 pounds on a GLP-1, specifically Zepbound. And today I want to have a little chat about maybe expectations, important things to remember if you're starting this or you're in the middle of it and you're having some self-doubt, need some reassurance, and all that. So let's get into it. So these aren't in any particular order, but these are things that I think that are very important for people to remember, okay? So I'm going to say it with me, okay? One of the most important things to do while you're on this GLP-1 is eat enough calories, okay? You have to eat, all right? I mentioned this in one of my past videos about people who were on Reddit. I was reading these stories.
They're like, yeah, like this 7.5 milligrams really effed me up. Like I can just smoke a cigarette and drink a coffee and then I don't have to eat anything all day. That is not the point. That is not the point of this medication.
To help you heal your relationship with food, among other things that it does. But really, if you're not on this and doing the work, it could be harmful to you later. And that also means letting go of your food fears, letting go of your fear of gaining weight. I understand. I still get scared to step on the scale, even though I've lost 50 pounds so far on this medication. It's psychological stuff you'll have to deal with, and we're going to discuss that later in this video. So what I mean about eating enough calories, I know it's hard in the beginning when you first start taking it. I'm 7 months in now, and I've been on the same dose this entire time, 2.5 milligrams, and I'm just now getting to the point the past 2 months where I can eat larger meals. So I can eat more in one sitting. I don't find that to be a bad thing because I feel like sometimes I've been under eating some days without realizing it on days I'm not tracking my calories. So some people can't even get 1,000 calories. Please, please, please try to get enough calories, not under 1,200 calories. I don't care what your height is. Okay. Under 1,200 is like what toddlers eat. Okay. You need to eat more than that. I'm just saying. My sister just started Zepbound. She weighed 265 pounds and now she weighs 235 after 2 months. And she is struggling to get those calories in. And I tell her every day, you must eat enough. But she's very picky. She doesn't like protein bars. She doesn't like certain stuff. So we're still trying to figure that out with her. And I am trying to get her on the channel, but she's kind of shy. She's not like me, who's a, was a cabaret. I also want to say that there's no one particular diet you need. You just do what you can stick with forever, for a long time. Do that. What's the most realistic thing for you to do? Yes, eat healthier. Absolutely. You have a lot more food freedom on this drug, so you can eat basically pretty much. I've just eaten whatever I've wanted, but I'm protein focused, so I try and keep up with that. But you don't need to do keto. You don't need to do intermittent fasting. You don't have to do that stuff unless you really, really want to, and it really benefits you in the end. I get negative comments. I had one girl, she said, Big Pharma likes a sucker. You should have just done keto. Like, okay, thank you, Dr. I think her name was Stephanie, Dr. Stephanie. They're once again negating how hard it is to control your eating if you have a problem with it. You know, I think the extremism with dieting, I know it's like, it gets people to like click on stuff and watch it and, you know, buy Slim Fast or what. Slim Fast is so retro.
With these delicious ready-to-drink shakes.
Oh my God. I don't know what's in right now. What diet is in right now? You don't have to do all that stuff unless you really, really want to and you feel like it'll benefit you. But you don't have to stick to one thing. It can change as you change. And not every single month is going to be perfect. Not all my months have been perfect. That's for sure. Like last night, I went out and had a burger and a beer, you know, but I did not feel guilty about it. So that's one big change. One of the things that's helped me a lot is making protein popsicles because they're not as filling. You can kind of like, you can make like 6 of them and they could be higher in protein. I don't make anything super special. I'm going to say it doesn't even taste that great, the version I make. I just mix some fruit, yogurt, protein powder. And that way on days I feel like I can't eat, like the first couple days after you take the drug, then I can just suck on some popsicles, you know, and that'll give me some extra calories for the day. I can get an extra 200 to 300 calories just doing that, depending on what you put in it, of course. I'm just lazy. And yeah, they don't taste super great. Maybe add some stevia to it or something. But if you're having a really difficult time, like consuming stuff, a popsicle's slow. You can eat it slow and it can add some extra calories. So it's just a thought to make it a little easier for people who are struggling to get calories. So number 2 or number 4, are we going backwards? Are we going to 5 to 1 or 1 to 5? I guess I made the rules. So secondly, okay, exercise. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of my biggest regrets is that I was working out. I was strength trained for an entire year before I started the drug without the intention of starting it. I just like to strength train. And I also play Just Dance, okay, which I still do. I've mentioned that in my past videos if you're joining me again. Strength training is super important, especially if you are over the age of 35, especially for women over 40. It prevents osteoporosis, or it can help fight against osteoporosis and bone breakage and, help you stay mobile as you get older and strong. And like, I only like to make one trip from the car with my groceries, okay? And since, I'll be honest, like I said, I stopped working out 2 months into me taking this drug. I was having a bit of a mentee bee. A little bit of a depressive episode going on. So I don't know why I felt so overwhelmed, and maybe like I had to ask myself what my motivation for working out was to begin with. Was it just to lose weight? Because now that I'm losing the weight, why did I stop working out? And that's something I have to ask myself. I do like strength training, but I don't know. I just got busy, and always make time for it. If you have 20 minutes, then you have time to work out. You know what I mean? You don't want to end up with Ozempic butt like this one right here, okay? Like me. And now I have to spend God knows how long rebuilding it. Even though you need to build muscle successfully, you usually need an excess of calories. So please work out. Find yourself a program. Find yourself something you like. Do the same thing over and over. You don't have to switch up your program. If you do the same movements over and over, that's how you build muscle on certain parts of your body. You just need to do the same thing over and over and find what you like. I would say strength train and then do something you really like. Like if you like Pilates or yoga or pole dancing, honey, which I have tried, and I had bruises all over my legs, but story for another day. Or not. It's not much of a story. It was too expensive. Okay. You don't need to wait to start. Okay. Just start. All right. Find yourself something you can stick to and start. Doesn't have to be an expensive gym membership. You can just get dumbbells in your home. You can play video games. You could, anything that gets you lifting a little, was that Nicki Minaj video with okay, maybe a little heavier than that. Number 3, have you ever heard the term hell is other people? Well, this is negativity. I know I discuss negativity and social stuff in all my other videos. Like I said, if you're just joining me, I do discuss how I've been judged heavily for taking a GLP-1 by my peers and my coworkers and other people. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of those people have started taking it. I had people, because of the misinformation about the drug, especially like 6-7 months ago, people telling me I was going to die, people telling me I was stupid, that I wasn't that overweight. And I've asked this question before, how overweight does someone have to be before it's okay for other people to accept that they're taking a drug? I will say my sister being heavier than me, she weighed 265 at the beginning, they were more accepting of her taking it because she was bigger. And she's shorter, so she's 5'5". I'm 5'7", 5'8", and weighed 205 pounds when I started, but I didn't want to get any bigger than that because they equate everything to willpower and they forget how addictive food can be and how people struggle with it emotionally, mentally, not knowing what I'd been through my whole life with like bullying and emotional abuse is what led me to this in the first place, which I'm going to talk about in my life with BED, which I can't say here because they will age restrict me, honey. But what my point is, you have to do what's best for you. I say this all the time. You have to do what's best for you in the end. If you feel like this drug is going to save your life, it could change the course of your life. It has changed my life and saved me from myself for now, If you feel like that's the right choice for you, then do it. But it is expensive. But then do it. Okay. Like, don't wait until everyone agrees with you and everything's perfect. I used to have a major people pleasing problem. And I can't tell you how many times being nice and pleasing everyone else got me into bad situations. Okay. What's that term? The road to hell was paved with good intentions. It's like, that's me. That's like the definition of me. And not too long ago, I stopped being so nice and I started saying no. It's okay to say no. Okay. A little off topic, but I'm just saying. And most importantly, everyone you see in your life now, your friend circle might change as you drop weight. Some people also don't want to hear about it. Some people have it has more to do with them. They might be jealous that you lost weight. They might not want to hear about it. They might think it's really shallow and stupid and dangerous. It's your choice at the end of the day. And you know what? All these people now, including yourself, are all going to be dead in 100 years. Think about that. Unless you lived like that Brian Johnson guy.
Hey friends, this Saturday I'm going to be tripping balls for science.
Maybe he'll live to be like 150. So that's just an important thing to remember. Negativity doesn't mean anything. it's okay for things to hurt you and hurt your feelings. It's okay to be hurt by things, but you don't need to like make it your whole world, especially with something as sensitive a topic as weight loss and changing your life. And like, I don't know. I feel like with less thoughts on food, you become more of the person you were meant to be. So negativity is hard to deal with. It hurts. It can make you depressed. But just remember why you started this in the first place, why you're looking up videos like this. You will receive that. Let me tell you, my coworkers were like, I would never take that. I would never take that. You're crazy. And you know what my coworker said to me, who's been the most judgmental about it, said I was taking lizard venom without understanding that it's just a peptide mimic from lizard venom. She told me she took a pain med that was meant for goats from Mexico. And you're going to tell me that I'm crazy for taking a GLP-1? Like, everyone's a hypocrite. Okay, everyone's a hypocrite. She also, one of our managers at my job was limping around because he has bone marrow cancer or something like that. And it caused an infection in his leg. And she told him that it was caused by COVID, possibly. And then I have a dishwasher, he's from Senegal, came up to him and said, hey man, just put sugar all over your leg and you will feel better. In 2 weeks, you'll feel better. I mean, his skin might be exfoliated at the very least. It just goes to show what little understanding a lot of people have in science, the disbelief, and also the fear, but also you're going to be afraid of a GLP-1, but you're taking some random goat pain med from Mexico. Like, come on, bro. Come on. That's what I'm saying. Like, who gives a shit what these people think? They don't know anything. And they choose to remain ignorant. And that's fine. You don't have to tell anyone that you're on the drug either. If I'm honest with people, I like to be, because I want them to know how I lost weight. If they ask me, most of the time when people are asking you, like, how'd you do it? They need tips, right? But I'm just honest. I say, no, honey, I'm on drugs. That makes me seem cool, right? You're like, no, it doesn't actually. Shut up. Cringe factor.
Welcome to Cringe Factor.
So I'm going to change my channel to Cringe Factor. How you deal with negativity, how you deal with people socially. You don't have to tell anyone. I choose to tell people because it's not something I particularly want to hide. And in my opinion, if it helps one person, then I've done my job. And you know what? More people have started the drug. My sister, my mother's about to go on it. She weighs 370 pounds. As you see, obesity kind of runs in my family. No, screw those people, man. Just do what's right for you. And you don't have to tell anyone if you don't want to. If your partner's unsupportive, tell them to go stuff it. Or like your relationships with your partners might change. Like I've seen some things where people, like, their partner gets smaller and they become more insecure because of that. And that is a whole another can of worms to open. You know, I can't even go into that. Okay. I can't even, that is so tough. I like I said, hell is other people. So don't let it get to you. Don't let these people define you or get to you, you know. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to be whoever you want. That's the beauty of life, you know? And what's the point of these big, huge brains humans have if we can't use it to, make our lives better? You know, that's the one thing animals can't do that. They can't like invent stuff. They can't like invent things like a GLP-1 to make one of my cats could really use it, to be honest, if they had a cat GLP-1. Okay. Number 4 is mental wellness. This is something I can talk about a lot because I have clinically diagnosed an eating disorder and what I think is food addiction, even though it's not recognized by the DSM, which is that big book of, mental illnesses as an addictive thing. Obviously, there's differences. I talk about it in my 6-month video. So with mental wellness, I'm going to start with comparison. Okay. And comparison is the thief of joy. I know I'm quoting a lot of stuff here, but that is true. Don't compare your journey to mine. I pretty much like responded to the medication very well, but not everyone does. And it just took a simple thing for me to be able to do it. So your mental well-being is very important on this journey. I've had moments where, and in my 6-month video, I mentioned identity crisis. Who am I if I'm not obsessed with food constantly? Who am I as a smaller person? What's my fashion? Like, what do I even like? Because you find yourself hiding in all of this clothing, like hiding yourself constantly. Or I did anyway. It doesn't matter that I've lost weight. I'm still unhappy in ways. And that's something I have to deal with. So if you're experiencing some mental issues, because this is a lot, it's a lot and it changes your whole life, not only socially, but emotionally, physically. You might end up with a new type of body dysmorphia when you're going clothes shopping because you're like, what the hell, man? Like, and dealing with like loose skin or just things changing. It's not an easy thing. Keeping yourself mentally well, maybe taking walks or reading books. What is it that you like to do or haven't done in a long time? This takes a lot of self-acceptance of maybe not everything's going to be perfect. You know, don't wait till everything's perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Okay. Especially if you're thinking about starting the drug and you're like, I got to go to the store and get this, and this. You don't need anything. Okay. All you need is to just start. I was so scared to start my first couple of days. I was so damn scared to start. I had to sit in the fridge for like 4 days because I was so scared. And then I had a panic attack after I took it, even though literally nothing else happened. But it's probably because I was drinking a Celsius and watching Black Mirror when it just come out. You know, that's probably it. It probably didn't help. So like maybe going to the spa or getting like a facial will help you with your mental well-being. Addressing intrusive thoughts. I think food noise is an intrusive thought. And if you're having those thoughts, just recognize it for what it is and let it go. Just say, that's just an intrusive thought. I'm good. That's ridiculous. You know, maybe not so easy for some people, but, you know, just don't be so hard on yourself. This is not an easy thing to do. And even if you're losing weight in a traditional way and not on a GLP-1, I still feel that people struggle with their identity, their mental wellness, how they're in their relation to others, like socially, and like, you know, maybe even becoming more obsessed with how they look. And I recommend that if you're struggling with these thoughts, maybe talking to a therapist about it, or just, you know, digging down deep. Some people like self-help books. I've never gotten into them. Talk to someone, maybe talk to a professional if you're feeling this is all too much and you have no support system in your real life. Having a real life support system is really important for a lot of people. For me, I don't care. I've always done my own thing, even if nobody approves. And now that I've lost all the weight, people are like, okay, all right. And I say that I'm not in pain anymore, or I'm like, you know, happier and this, and this. I don't have to explain any of that to them, but you know, now that they see it, they're a little bit more accepting. But I don't care what people think to an extent. Because like I said before, I was a people pleaser, so it took a long time to get over. If you're that type of person, it is hard because these are the people you know, but the world is huge, massive. Maybe take a trip somewhere, you know, take yourself on a little trip and be like, okay, there's so many people in the world and I just know this small circle of people and maybe they're not the right people for me, you know, and your circle might change as time goes on. Also, while you're on this journey, addressing what led you to become obese in the first place. Some people do have medical issues. Me, my blood work came all back healthy except for high cholesterol. So I think that I you know, because I used to have to like throw food in the trash and then dump spray on it or like Windex on it to stop myself from eating it. You know, like what motivates me to gain weight or what motivates me to eat is different than someone else possibly. And I still suffer and struggle with mental wellness on this because there's a lot of guilt wrapped up in what you've done to yourself. For me anyway, it is I'm just telling you, someone who could relate to that, the honest truth about what this is really like. It's not all smiles and rainbows and maybe some digestive problems. It's like a whole slew of like looking back and like so much regret that you've had over like how much regret that I've had over the past 30 years. Even though when this started, I was just a child and the conditions in which it started, weren't my fault, but I continued on that legacy all this time up until now. So, you know, I'm going to discuss that in another video, how I ended up this way. And if you're interested in that, I don't get to post very often. I don't have a lot of time to do videos. It takes me a really long time to edit these videos because I try and make them entertaining at the very least and entertaining to watch. So, you know, I'm surprised another cat hasn't appeared yet. They're all sleeping. Speaking of entertainment. So if you're struggling mentally, maybe talk to someone, maybe someone outside of your inner circle who can give you like not such a personal point of view, but more like, you know, they're away from you and your friend group and they can tell you whether based on what you tell them, how you can deal with that. Okay. Besides all that other stuff, this is the most important thing for your weight loss journey, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, is sleep. Sleep, honey. Sleep. Some of you are dealing with sleep apnea. So, you know, I heard that this med will get covered from a lot of insurances if you have sleep apnea. So if you think you have sleep apnea and you're waking up in the middle of the night like choking, you might have it. And if you do a sleep study, you might get covered for this med if you're paying out of pocket, if you have insurance. Just a little hot tip. But for everyone else, I don't like people who tell people they need to get up at 5 a.m. to work out, unless you literally have no other time in the day. It is good to work out in the morning. I think it doesn't matter what time of day you work out, but like in the morning, at least it's out of the way and you've got it done. okay? Or like wake up at 5 a.m. If you did not get enough sleep the night before, I'm going to say 7 to 8 hours as normal people need. Do not get up at 5 a.m. Do not get up at 4 a.m. If you went to bed at midnight, you're get up at 4 a.m. to work out, you're ruining all your progress. Sleep is so important to your body's repair, and it literally is one of the most important things you can do for your health. I get woken up every morning at 5:30 by my cats, no matter what time I'm going to sleep. And you know, it's a lifestyle, honey. So it's important for your repair, your well-being, your joy. Sleep is so important. Do not skip it. Okay. It can really, really ruin a lot of things in your life that you might not even realize. And maybe stopping drinking caffeine. Like I drink 2 Celsius a day. I am physically addicted to caffeine. Okay. I have some problems, people. Okay. I went on a cruise where I didn't have a Celsius and I got a migraine so bad it ruined the entire cruise. It was like for 3 days. Okay. And they don't sell Celsius on the ship. They want you to buy their dumbass coffee. I do to go to sleep. I don't like melatonin, but whatever helps you get to sleep. Okay. But I don't like melatonin. I've never taken sleep drugs. My sister would take them and said she'd be like tripping on them. Melatonin for me always gives me really crazy dreams. I think the last time I took it, I dreamt I was doing brain surgery on myself and it was really crazy. Like no joke. What I use is something that's not legal in all states. Okay. But it's, well, CBD should be legal in most states. I don't know. I'm going to look that up and put that right here. I use a CBD gummy called Wild Gummies. It may vary state to state what's available, but these are sleep gummies. They don't get you high and they help put me in a really deep sleep, like that deep REM sleep that you need. And then, or I'll go to the actual legal dispensary here in DC and it's 1-to-1 gummies. Same amount of THC as there is CBD or 2-to-1 because I don't like feeling high. I really don't. I know marijuana stuff has been good for a lot of people. It's helped a ton of people. For me, it just makes me super paranoid. I don't know what happened. I'm just not cool, guys. I know that I'm not. Obviously, this is a pretty controversial recommendation, so this is not for everyone, but this has helped me find more joy in life. I have more energy throughout the day. It puts me in a really deep sleep. So, you know, if you find, maybe do a little research. I only take like halves of them because I don't want to feel high even for a second or I'll have a panic attack, a PA, I'm NTB, as I said before. So get your sleep. Okay, there's a ton of sleep studies out there about how important it is to get it. Okay, so let's go over it all. Eat enough calories. Okay, please eat enough calories or else you're going to lose in 3 months, you're going to lose all your hair and then you're going to be like, what the hell? And maybe some other problems. Okay, exercise, mental wellness, whatever that means for you, and dealing with negativity from other people. So how you are socially, and sleep. Get that sleep, honey. Put on that little satin mask so you don't get any wrinkles. Okay, and just, you know what I do sometimes to fall asleep is I'll imagine scenarios like, or maybe I'll like think of what if I won the lottery, what would I do with the money? That usually puts me to sleep. Please help me win the lottery, everyone. Anyway, that's all from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little silly and a little short, but these are very important things. I can discuss more of that stuff. My 7-month video is coming up, and I've also got some other treats in store. So thank you for joining me. You've all been amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.